Holy goodness out there. What is up, guys? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to more esports talk. The responses do continue around this Blizzard situation. Now a Riot response about potentially censoring the Hong Kong issue. If you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, we're talking about Blizzard and how they actually banned a player for 1 year for his free speech about liberating Hong Kong. I highly encourage you guys to check out some other videos if you have no idea what we're actually talking about here. Our last episode, we talked about Epic Games. They have now responded to Blizzard's whole ordeal pretty much by saying, yeah, by the way, Fortnite players, Rocket League players, Epic Games operates both those games. You're not going to be punished for the same thing that Blizzard punishes their players for. Epic Games pretty much just said, hey, by the way, Tencent in China, they're not our daddy. Tim Sweeney runs all of the rules around here. We will not enforce it as strictly as Blizzard did. Amidst this whole backlash, Epic Games chose a very smart time to respond. Riot as well, I would say, a very important time to clarify what is going on around their censorship, because we actually have a team out there from the Chinese and Asian scene, that being the Hong Kong Attitude. Ironically enough, around all this time where Blizzard has now banned a pro player for saying liberate Hong Kong, we have a team called Hong Kong Attitude, aka HKA. They are now in the League of Legends Worlds group stage, which will continue this weekend, and there were some articles surfacing around going viral saying that Riot was apparently censoring the team. That is not the case. Although, to be fair, I think it's great they actually clarified this, because we had seen in Twitch chat, we'd seen in some viral articles, apparently people thought that Riot was potentially, was censoring that, because it would make a little bit of sense, right? Riot is 100% owned by Tencent over there in China. You know, Tencent owns 5% of Blizzard, and that's all it took to get Blizzard to act the way they did. So I think it was a reasonable accusation, especially because the broadcast, if you guys watched a couple days back during those closing matches of play-ins, well, the casters had gone back and forth between saying Hong Kong Attitude, catching themselves, sometimes stuttering. People like Frost, they were actually, she was just saying it. So here's the midst of those clips, guys, which got people thinking that Hong Kong Attitude might be being censored for League of Legends Worlds.
Or at least inconsistent to what people expect of them. And then Cloud9 and Hong Kong Attitude. So I'm going to say that G2 will at least make it to best of 5.
Having those different options definitely paid off well for them. It's on HKA going through to the groups.
And just resource allocation and accumulating a lead without necessarily fighting, whereas I think Hong Kong or HKA are a team that is much more.
Other debates out there also sparked by this and this rumor as well, because interviews, at least the Hong Kong Attitude interview, it came out that that interview was pre-recorded, just despite the fact that in case they did say anything, people thought Riot could just pull it, and that's why they were pre-recording those interviews. Finally, though, the lead of communication over at Riot has now clarified the case, and no, Riot is not censoring all things Hong Kong just because Tencent owns 100% of them, or at least that's what they're stating. There are definitely the conspiracy theorists out there who think, oh, well, Riot's probably lying. They're probably checking or saving face. Well, I don't really believe that. The reasoning so far they've given is simply they didn't really prep their team necessarily thoroughly enough amidst this case. As you guys can probably imagine, if you're a League of Legends caster, analyst, someone on the talent desk at all, you'd probably be a bit worried if you saw Blizzard employees being laid off or casters being laid off for even being a part of this Hong Kong controversy, especially if your prep team is not going to tell you to say Hong Kong Attitude or HKA. You might want to just save yourself the trouble and actually catch yourself and say HKA if you think your job is on the line. Alongside that, they do actually clarify most of the interviews were pre-recorded, just like that of HKA's, and so it wasn't because they wanted to pull their interview in case they tried to liberate Hong Kong through their team speech. And I think I agree with them, guys. You can tell through the entire broadcast, if you actually watched it live throughout the group stage play-ins, they did say interchangeably. There were some cast members that just straight up said Hong Kong Attitude, others that said HKA, others that stuttered a little bit because they were not prepped and maybe did not understand fully what they could and could not say on broadcast. And so I'm very curious what will happen during group stage, how they'll pronounce it. I probably assume they're going to keep on interchanging that, because let's be honest, guys, sometimes you say UOL, sometimes you say Unicorns of Love. You know, sometimes it's easier to say the short 3 letters as it is to say the 3 words. So either way, I actually believe Riot here. I know there will be conspiracies out there that yes, they are censoring some parts of it. Even further to that rumor, though, apparently the owners of this Hong Kong Attitude are actually pro-China. They're not going to be pro-Hong Kong in the liberation, so I highly doubt they're going to speak up, and that therefore do not need to be censored by Riot anyway. What do you guys think about this? There are so many developers out there, huge companies in esports now responding to Blizzard's you know, Blizzard's interesting response to the whole ordeal. What do you guys think about this? Who has made the best response? Do you think Riot is censoring HKA? I don't think so. I think they made a great response in clarifying what is going on for Worlds, which will continue this weekend, and I hope you guys all do enjoy that broadcast because the matchups are going to be pretty insane. Until next time, guys, my name is Jake, breaking down esports and gaming news here every single day. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Be nice to someone, all right? See ya.